Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. Today, we have another Volkswagen in the shop. Want to see what we're doing? Stick around, watch the intro, and I'll tell you what we're doing. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching, thanks for sticking around. Today, we have that 2010 Volkswagen Jetta in here. He wants the speakers. So we're going to swap out his factory speakers with some of these. They're the Ground Zero Iridium speakers. We have the GZIC 165.2 and the GZIF 6.5 coax. So we're going to get these going, show you how to take that door apart for the front. But first, we've got to do our standard checks to make sure, to see what we have for everything. Make sure everything works, or what doesn't work, we now know. So let's go in the vehicle, start our checks, and go from there. Alright, here we are in the car. Dash has lights lit up on it. Get rid of that brake light. However, we're here more for our speakers. So if we check our balance and fader, 7% of the people balance to the left, still support and fade all the way to the front, I got nothing. I got no sound. Let's fade to the right. So don't be surprised. Or to the rear, sorry. We have the driver's side rear speaker working. On Y95 with Mike Richards. Passenger side rear speaker doesn't work. And we've got just the tweeter on the passenger front. So we know that we have a lot of speakers not working in this car. So I guess that means we've got to get ourselves to work and get these speakers working. So let's get the door apart, see what we're in for, and stick around. There, here we are on the door, along the very bottom. Right along here, there is a T20 screw. Then we have to take this leave the window switch panel off. I like to start at the back here. Put your nice panel tool in here and work your way to the front. Wiggle it out. No need to force it. Take that off of there. And then we have a T30 Torx bit right here. It's just behind the window switch panel. Then underneath this handle right here, you'll see there's a little panel that pops out. Just like that, which then reveals another T30 Torx bit. And with that out, just do a final check to make sure there's no screws left that you didn't see. And then you start on the corner with your panel tool. Once you get that off, then you got another 30 right there. I know some of you probably already yelled at the screen saying you forgot one. I like to work bottom to top, leaving this screw in while I loosen off the bottom. And then once I get the bottom loosened off, then I take that screw out. And then we just disconnect all the electrical connectors back here. In there. And check to see if there's any clips that you dropped. If there was, you pick them up. And if there wasn't, then you're good to go. And that shows us what we have. And there's a nice, wonderful paper cone speaker riveted in place. So I'm gonna go get a drill, pop out these, and get the speaker out of here. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we are. I kind of jumped ahead a little bit. I got the speaker wire already mounted, or the speaker ring. I've got some foam tape on the inside here. You can see we've got the connector going. Comes through here. I got this all soldered, heat shrunk, which will allow me just to tuck that right in here. Just like that. Let's get that light out of the way. And the speaker itself is still upright. Now, one thing I did want to show is when you take the door panel off, you're going to have some of these connectors left over. They're going to be stuck in the door. To take them out, there's a little, I'll show you here close up, but you just separate that and give it a little pull, just like that. You can see this spot here. When it goes back in, this will close back up and expand here, locking everything in place. To get it out, you just put your panel tool here and pry outwards, and it shrinks it down. Let's see if I can, there we go. You can see how that's lower, that's expanded on the bottom. Then all you do is you just put that there, give it a pull. It's so much easier to do it with it in the door. There, and see, it goes right like that. You slide it out, that shrinks, so that's ready to go back in the door panel, and they're ready to put the door panel back together. But first, we need to get this speaker mounted, get it fully secured in place, and test it to make sure it works. Alright, so there we have the screws in. Gonna zip tie this up so it's somewhat secure right against there, not flopping around everywhere. Let's see what it does. It works. I'm not gonna leave it playing too long just because of YouTube's copyright rules, but it does work. So now I get to work on the tweeter, and then get to the passenger side, and then we'll move on to the back doors and make sure everything works there. The customer can have a car back. So stick around, we're going to take this front A-pillar off. Alright, so here we are. A-pillar's off. You see the airbags in there. Now, to take these off, I didn't show the process because there's not much I could show you until it's off. You got these clips. They're a double lock style. You push them in, they go in, and then you push them a little further and they lock in there, making it tighter. You pull it out, there's some little metal tabs right there that keep it locked in. So what I do is I will slide it out from the side of this, reach up in there with a pair of extended needle nose pliers, lock them onto here, push it up this way for the two top ones, and then the last one, you can take that out quite easily. You do have to take the side panel off to get to the clip right here, but then once you take these out, wiggle it around a little bit, comes out, and we're ready to swap out this factory tweeter. So let's go over to the bench and get working on it. Alright, so here we are. See, I got the crossover mounted right there. It's got the factory connector that goes up into the A-pillar. I did put the A-pillar back together. The tweeter actually was able to pretty much go in the exact same mounting spot as the factory was, which is nice. I'll show you when we do the passenger side. The crossover, like I said, mounted right here, goes straight up into the A-pillar. The factory connector on the input side was used. So now everything's all hooked up. Time to start on the passenger side. So stick around. Alright, here we are with the passenger side. As you can see, using this outer ring, it fits right in there, right along with where the factory was. Which you can see how the factory, it's got the three little tabs on the outside. Now it's just basically plastic welded to this plastic piece. So you get rid of those plastic welds, put this in there. This fits right in between where all the stands are for it. So all we're going to do, we're going to put some structural adhesive, hold it in place. I put a little foam around the very front edge to keep it from rattling on the grill or making any chance of any noise happening there. So I'm going to do that. We're going to get the wire all cleaned up, get the crossover wired in, and then get it back in the car. And then that way, we can call this door done too. Stick around. Alright, so here we are. As you can see, I got the tweeter mounted. It's in there pretty good. Solid. Don't need to worry about it falling, I hope. So, gonna get some of the wiring here done. Get it back in the car. And move on. So here we go. Let's see here. We'll get the wiring up the crossover. Get the heat shrink on here first. There we go. And then this will make, I've got the factory connector on the other end. Show you that in a second here. You can see I got the factory connector. Goes to the crossover and then out here to the tweeters. So that will make this a nice plug and play piece. So if this ever has to come off for service work, replace the windshield, because there is a crack in it, but if they ever have to take it out for whatever reason, they can unplug it and plug it back in. Makes the serviceability really nice, rather than cutting the wires and hoping that whatever garage you took it to hooks them back up right, if at all. Slide the heat shrink over, just like that. Now for all you Tessa tape lovers out there, we'll wrap it up like this. The factory wiring was done like this as well, so it keeps it looking factory. Give a little protection with the wires against abrasion and stuff as well. And I try and leave a little bit at the end for flexibility. Or if I have to do some work on that wire, it's right there as well. A little foam on the very back here, just to help keep it from any extra noise that could be there. So let's go throw this back in the car and see how it sounds. Alright, so here we are in the car. We got this ready to go back in. Put these clips back in like I was explaining about before. They just kind of slide back in. Just like that. Now we'll plug in our wire. Just like that. That's going to get tucked around here. Now these are a little tight to get them back in there. It will take a little bending and pulling and pushing and everything else just to get it lined up where it needs to be. But once you do get it lined up, they do go in pretty good. There we go. Like I said, once you get it lined up, get everything put in place, everything goes back together nicely. And then we have our wiring that we're going to do over here. Just like in our last one. The cover comes off. Put a zip tie there. We can put it right against here. Right against that wire harness. Wherever it's going to be out of the way and not a problem. And then we can tuck the wire like that. One thing I really like about these crossovers I'll show you in a second. Is you can, when I do this, I can leave that clip on the inside, and when I put the cover itself on, it's all the ends of the zip tie will be hidden out of sight, and it gives it a little bit nicer, a little cleaner of a look. Trying not to block your view, but I'm gonna have to. So you get a look at the back of my head for a second. That's Reposition the zip tie. That should make it a little better. And there we go. Alright, we're back. Still working on this Volkswagen. We're on the back doors now, so pop off this panel here, which again reveals a T30 Torx bit. There's also, when you take the window switch cover off, there's a T30 in there. And underneath the handle, there's another one. Now it's tucked way up in there. There we go. It's way in there. And there we have it. That's the 3 screws holding this door panel on. So now we can just work our way around the edge. Popping off the panel. Just like that. There. And that reveals our nice, wonderful dual cone speaker. I hope Volkswagen didn't break the budget too much on that one, but and then carefully drill out the rivets. There we have it. Pop off the speaker. And a nice, wonderful dual cone factory Volkswagen speaker. Let's go get something better in there. Get this cleaned off. Finish pulling out the remaining pieces of the rivet. And then we'll get the new speakers mounted up, and then we can take a listen to them and see how they sound. So stick around. Alright, here we are, just getting ready to put the driver's rear door back together. As you can see, we've got the wire all run through, soldered in place. So now we'll screw that down, test it out. Put the door back together, and then we can send it out. Customer will be happy. And if you remember when we first started, we had like one rear speaker hooked up or working, the tweeter on the passenger front door was working, and the sound just was not there. Now we have all the speakers working, and let's see what happens.
You can get back on the road quickly and safely. Telephone Motors in Church Point, the original Ford dealership in Atlantic, Canada.
So that's all 4 speakers working.
When you think of a workplace, what springs to mind?
So now putting this back together is the exact opposite of what we did to take it apart. I just want to zip tie this out of the way so it's not sitting there tapping away inside the door, making unwanted noises. So there we go. So now we grab the door panel, make sure all the clips are still in there. Go. Much as Volkswagens are annoying to work on, some of the connectors they have are quite nice to use. They go together quite easily. There. Make sure it's sealed back together the whole way around, and start putting the bolts back in. And before I go too far, I like to just take my screwdriver, make sure the door latch does work. That way at least you know you put it back together right. Nothing worse than you put the whole door back together, close it, and you gotta take it apart again just for that door latch. And sometimes, depending on the vehicle, you may have to find other ways to take the door apart to be able to reopen it because you don't have an outside latch, if it's not hooked up right. There, just like that. That goes back down in there. There we go. Now this here, it does have L-shaped pieces on it. So it goes in, then forward, and then you shove it in place. And that's the door back together. So now I'm going to go put the front driver's door back together. And then do a test, let you see it. Or hear it, I guess. And let the customer know it's ready. Alright. We're done. We've got the car back together. Just listen to it for a second here. Very impressed. I'm going to turn it on real quick here for you for a second. And then all speakers are working, which is nice. Remember, we did the tweeters there up in the dash. We did the door speakers. And we just finished up doing the rear door speakers as well. So with that, every speaker's working. We had our polarity tester go. I went, checked, make sure everything's still all in polarity. So everything was wired right. So now all that's left is for this customer to enjoy the music. The other thing that's left is go click that subscribe button. I've been real impressed with how much the channel's grown in the last couple days. We're up to 79 subscribers now, which week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was a lot less. So I'm very happy with how things are growing. And apparently you guys are too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helps out on whoever's doing what to their Volkswagen Jetta. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Click like. Let me know what you think. So till the next time, keep it loud, stay warm.